We're going on, guys.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit it.
The leisurely Jen today. Sitting at the desk. I'm sitting at Miller's desk with my feet up. I hope Miller's not watching. He would freak if he saw me with my feet on his desk, throwing the football all around. Hey, I want to say thank you to our friends at Feiger Law. This episode of the Sports Office is brought to you by Feiger Law. All we do is win. Okay, so James is here with me, James Paxson. Big day in Detroit sports.
Incomplete. She dropped the pass.
I know,
so.
that was pretty
disappointing.
It was like the receiver in the NFC Championship game. Twice.
Why you got to bring up old stuff?
Sorry, because
it's okay.
You know what? Because we are today.
Unfortunately,
we're going to get right to it. We've got Michael Stone. Michael Stone. Stoney.
What up?
Stoney. All your friends are here, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
I enjoy having you on the Sports Office this evening. Your plantation shutters look beautiful in your office.
Thank you.
Everything there is quite handsome. You got your Canucks?
Yes.
Canucks from the
Wow, that is an old
80s?
school
Early
Canucks.
80s. I wish it was 80s. It was what they wore back in 1970.
Wow.
Now, the actual jersey is not from there, but yes, it's that logo.
It's that
Which we
era.
might see on the ice tonight at Little Caesars.
Can you say era for me?
The era.
Era.
Yeah, you got it.
I know. I love the Philly accent is one of my favorite.
Beautiful.
Stoney, incidentally, we should bring up to our friends who can join in on the Zoom meeting code. I am wearing the boots that I drank the bourbon out of on the radio.
Gross.
It was this boot in general, in specific. My left boot.
Absolutely not. I am not
I
smelling
know.
it.
You know what it looks like, though, Stoney. You were there. You saw it. Remember, we're playing radio tonight. All right. Thank you, Feiger Law. Thank you, Michael Stone. Let's get right to it. Cut to the chase. Were you, sir, you were not in Allen Park today. I know this because I was listening to you on the radio with one Michael Valenti. Give me your takeaway, just kind of an overall sense, what you took from that Brad Holmes press conference.
Well, I like the fact that he took accountability, that he basically gave himself the Dan Campbell F grade that Campbell gave himself. He realized that it was not a success because they didn't get to the Super Bowl and win it. So I thought he started off really well. And then he went back to the whole same and dance. Well, song and dance, we're going to do it the same way. We're not going to necessarily be aggressive and things like that. And it's like, really? And then he started quoting sack totals, which are so misleading of Hutchinson and Muhammad because the pressure.
They're not fast pressures. That's the key. The pressure they get is not the kind of pressure that impacts and affects games in a typical manner. Oh, hi, Cindy Stone. Wait, can Cindy Stone come say hello to us here? Hi. That's Mrs. Cindy Stone, the wife of the better half, I must say. Cindy, how long have you guys been married?
More than 30 years.
Not quite.
Not quite? Oh, really?
It'll be 30 years in October.
Oh, yeah.
I love a woman that doesn't know and a man that does. This is new.
Jennifer, I lost my wedding ring the other day.
Yes.
Oh, you did tell me that story.
Is that shocking to you? It's not shocking.
Actually, I'm kind of shocked, Cindy, that it took him 30 years to lose the ring.
Exactly.
That he didn't lose it sooner. So maybe we can go play whirly ball for the anniversary.
Okay.
Let's do that. And I'll be careful. I'll get a chest protector so I don't bruise my ribs again. We did that on your 50th birthday? 40th?
50th,
Yes.
Yeah, 50th birthday. Good. Well, good to see you, Cindy. Hopefully I see you in person sometime very soon.
Bye.
So, Stoney, the accountability that Brad Holmes took, I guess, for some people, it was like in your mind, it was a good move, and it was a good thing. He didn't get up there, and he didn't stand defensive. He wasn't cashing receipts or anything of that nature. But my question to you is, did he give you enough information on why perhaps they weren't more aggressive to make this team better? The Frank Ragnow thing is the one point that really kind of confuses me. When did they know? How did they not do a better job of plugging that hole in your mind?
That wasn't answered. In fact, I thought the Ragnow, I think there were like 4 or 5 questions about that. It's like, enough already. We know he's not coming back because Goff said he wasn't coming back.
Right.
So why even bother to have that much Frank Ragnow talk? He never gave a clear answer. But he did say there were what? He used the term breadcrumbs or something like that.
Yep.
They kind of had an idea that this was possibly going to happen. He also, I don't know if you read between the lines, maybe they wanted to draft somebody who wasn't available at that time when, in the first round, because they got, obviously, as you know, Ratledge in the second round.
Yeah.
So, I mean, or maybe even a year before that. But they had their chance. They were offensive linemen they could have drafted, instead of Ennis Rakestraw. That's for damn sure.
This is true. You know what? Absolutely. And especially now in hindsight, given the injuries that we've seen to him and other guys at that position. The other important angle, I guess, is the Taylor Decker situation. What was his conclusive, kind of lead on where that is going to go and what it might mean for what happens in this offseason with how diligently they scour for more offensive linemen, both through the draft and perhaps free agency?
Yes, they're going to have to because if I was betting, I'm sure you agree, I don't think Decker's coming back.
Yep.
So they have to do it. And look, draft-wise, free agency-wise, their 2 biggest needs are, in my opinion, offensive line, number 1, defensive line, not necessarily just the pass rush. Because Aleem McNeil didn't play great when he got back. DJ Reader, really, I don't think he's going to be back. Lopez played good, but are they going to have to pay him big money? And I don't know if you would do that for Lopez.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and then
Muhammad.
He'll probably get a lot of money, and I wouldn't pay him a lot of money.
Yeah.
The other thing is the safety position. I mean, he kind of let on that Kirby Joseph, they don't know what's going on with that, and Branch won't come back till around October.
The Kirby thing was really concerning today because he did make it clear that it just popped up and they had no idea what was going on. But I certainly don't feel relieved by his answer today about Kirby Joseph.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I absolutely think that they are going to need to turn the safety position into one of their quick needs. And when I say that, I mean it's offensive line 1, safety 2. Because I think you can patchwork in some guys for D-line and hopefully draft someone. Maybe get someone in free agency. You never know what could pop up. But I just think that their secondary is so maligned right now, Stoney. It's got to be the premier point of emphasis in this offseason on defense, in my opinion.
Well, it depends. I mean, you need to be successful in this league. You need to win the trenches. So I would say D-line is probably more an issue than safety, but you never know. And draft-wise, I don't think he's going to drop to where they're picking, but the best safety is Caleb Downs at Ohio State. I don't know if they trade up for him, if that's what they believe in. I just think that, look, the whole foundation of this team is the offensive line. And if they don't fix that, ain't going to make a difference anyway.
Yeah.
What did you think of, he talked about Tate Ratledge maybe playing center when he talked about what he's going to do with the O-line in between the Decker conversation and the offensive line. I don't really want to give a strong opinion about these press conferences, but I was pretty underwhelmed when he answered that question.
Look, you have to, actions speak louder than words, and I've learned the hard way that not to take too much from press conferences. I mean, I thought Bobby Ross was the greatest human being in the world when he said he needed bus tickets.
Yeah,
and
right.
Some wise chubby sportscaster named Bob Winowski.
Oh, we remember Bobby Ross. He was going to issue bus tickets for guys who weren't going to play.
Yeah, exactly. And we saw that. It didn't. I wasn't impressed with the answer on that, too. But the most important thing, I guess, is that he realizes that the season was a failure. So that's good, some inward thinking.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we started the show off today when I said it would be organizational malfeasance if they don't try to at least talk or convince Mike McDaniel, who was fired earlier today in a surprise to many, to be the offensive coordinator. And then, lo and behold, a couple hours later, I don't think they listened to me, but it was reported that they have actually reached out.
You can't prove that they didn't listen to you. That's not proven.
That's true.
You know what, Stoney? It was, I think it was after the Vikings game. Were we sitting in there talking about was it December 25th when you talked about Mike McDaniel being the guy, a guy that you were hoping would be fired so that he could come to Detroit? And as soon as I saw that tweet today that it had happened, that he was fired, I was like, there's Stoney, right on cue. There's Mike McDaniel. Because earlier this week, it didn't appear as if he was going to be available. And this whole Stephen Ross thing became very crazy kind of quickly.
Really weird. Really weird. Well, he talked on Monday.
I think that happened once John Harbaugh got let go. Because Harbaugh has a relationship with one of their GM candidates. I believe his name is Chris Alexander. So, if they could go as a tandem, maybe Stephen Ross said, they'll come to Miami and I'll let McDaniel go. So who knows?
Well, there you go. There you go. And that's actually probably a pretty good plan because I'll tell you something. John Harbaugh is a damn good coach.
Yeah.
Damn good football coach.
It's crazy if the guy makes the field goal. Obviously, he's still coaching. And I wonder if he would have gotten fired even, when they lost.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. I don't think he would have. There was a tremendous meme of, the uprights that showed Harbaugh's name in the middle and then Tomlin on the outside. And then the one below it was Harbaugh on the outside, Tomlin on the inside. And whichever way that kick went is who would have stayed and who would have gone.
I know.
In all reality, that is how tenuous and what a fine line it is in the NFL. Another thing that James and I were pretty intrigued by as we heard Holmes talking today was the David Montgomery situation. I understand that they didn't use him how they wanted. How the heck do they not do that? Why didn't they use him more? And what went so terribly wrong with Montgomery, with that organization and with management or coaching, that he was basically, it almost felt a little like persona non grata near the end of that season, the second half certainly.
Well, I think they got enamored with Gibbs. And I understand that. I mean, Gibbs is one of the most explosive players in the league, so they went away from Montgomery. Remember, not to take too much away from last year, when the playoff game, there were people that were pissed that Montgomery started the game because he came back from the injury.
Yes.
Well, what's Campy eating for dinner there?
Wait, where's Campy?
We got Campy in the room.
Oh, Campy's in the room. Oh, I wish we could bring you both on. Good, we're going to bring Campy in a minute. We can't do them both at the same time.
I'm so confused because we can't see the Zoom room.
Gosh.
So he's like, "What's Campy eating for dinner?" And I'm like, "What is he talking about?"
I can see Campy. I can see Trevor and Van Buren Township. I see all these people.
You see all the people in the Zoom room. That's okay. We're working on it. We are working on it.
I just don't see you.
Stoney, final thoughts here. Going into the off season, I know you and I have had this conversation ad nauseum on the radio. Is the window closed? Yes? No? Can they get back to?
It's not closed because they have so many players who are still under contract, young, at important positions. Has the window, narrowed a little bit? Yeah, but I don't think it's completely closed. If they have a good off season, stranger things have happened. They could, go on a run again.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun?
It's going to take a really good free agent class and a good draft class.
Well, for all my friends celebrating Dry January or whatever they do with Dry January, I don't know if it's a celebration or adhering to Dry January. I know because there's no Lions in the playoffs, they're all saying it's going to be much easier. So I guess people can take solace in that. Stoney, I am not having Dry January. I hope to see you soon for a bourbon. Thank you for joining us this evening, my friend.
Thanks, Tony. Thank you very much. And go Grizzlies.
Go Grizz.
Looks like we're joining Greg Campy after the break.
Let's get Campy up here right now before we go to the break. I want to know what the heck. Camp, where are you? Oh, I know where you are. Wait, you're on the rooftop. Nope, you're in your living room, and that's your rooftop behind you. Why aren't you smoking a cigar tonight, Coach?
I don't smoke them inside.
Okay.
It's
Why
warm
aren't you
enough
outside?
out there, too.
I was going to say it's 55 degrees. Maybe I should have been over there tonight smoking a cigar on that roof with you.
Yeah. I missed the Holmes press conference because I was in a meeting, and so I just logged on to hear because I haven't heard anything, so I wanted to hear what was being said. I watched the news show.
Yeah.
Hammer. I watched on the news. I heard a few things, so I tuned in. I wasn't expecting to. I was eating my dinner, as Stoney said. I was having a bacon.
Well, I like that we let you in here, and I like that Stoney saw you eating your dinner.
It's a tad intrusive for Stoney to say what he was doing. I mean, we didn't put him on air. I mean,
so Brad Holmes was he was very
accountable.
Yeah, took accountability for the for the lousy season and gave himself an F, called it a failing grade, and they've got to get better. But one thing that I found very interesting that he said, and you will like this as a coach and a guy who runs your program, a lot of the offseason changes and tweaks that are coming, he said, won't come with a headline. Can he afford to do that? I guess as a guy who, for you in your position as a college basketball coach right now, you need to make headlines, right? You want guys to know this program's on the rise. Come join the Grizzlies. Is that something an NFL GM can do?
So I think what you have to, and I consider myself Joe fan like everybody else for the Lions. I've got 70 years as a Lions fan, right? But what I think people, and I listen to the sport talk radio, and I listen to, all your guys are all my friends, so I listen to you. But one of the things that makes me cringe is this window thing.
Yeah.
And you never hear Brad, or you would never hear Dan talking about a window, because when you're in the business, there is no window. There's today. There's today. And your job, Brad's job is to get better every day. Dan's job, my job is, you recruit, you put a roster together, and there's no thought like, they're not sitting there thinking, I'm going to put this roster together so that we can win in 2028. They're looking at whoever the first game is next year and how do we win that game? Mm-hmm. Because when you're in this business, you can't look forward and you can't look back. Every day is the most important day that you have when you're the coach or when you're the guy that puts the roster together. If fans don't think that they don't have every option out there in a room on a whiteboard with all their scouts and if you don't think that they don't talk about that every single day, you're wrong.
Yeah.
They don't look at it. Jen, they don't look at any window. Mm-hmm. They want to win every day and every game they play. They're expecting to be in the Super Bowl next year. That's their expectations. And trust me, Dan and Brad are going to do everything they can to get Detroit in that Super Bowl. It's not, can we get in the Super Bowl in 2027 or 8 or 9? It's what can we do to get there this year? Then you weigh the options of, if I get rid of this guy to bring this guy in and it doesn't work, what's our future? You play scenarios every day. I sit in my office with my staff and we play out every scenario there is so that we're ready for any scenario that shows up.
Coach, thanks for the call.
That was
And
really good.
sadly, I've got that was so well said. And we're going to leave you on that note. I've got to hit some commercials here. I know that you're going to be on the Sports Zone on Sunday night with us. I am going to hopefully be out at the arena on Sunday watching your game as a fan.
Thanks, Coach. See you
Weekend,
Sunday.
Big weekend for the Grizz.
Big weekend for the Grizz. You got a big one Friday and another number one, right? Number one in the league coming in on Sunday.
The team we're tied with, we play Sunday,
All right. Kick some ass, Coach. We love you. Thanks
Good
for
luck,
calling.
Coach.
Hey, and hi to the dogs and everybody at home. All right. That's Coach Greg Campy. All right. We're going to hit the break real quick. Coming back with your Zoom calls on the Sports Office. Right after this, there's Howard spinning the buttons, spinning the dials. All right, welcome back to the Sports Office. Jennifer Hammond along with James Paxson, our producer at large in the office tonight. Let's go right to the Zoom calls, and we've got Trevor.
Let's get to Trevor.
Hey, Trev, how are you? Welcome to the Sports Office. Is this your first time calling in? Unmute. Can you unmute, please, sir? Hello. Trevor.
Maybe his first time using a phone.
Can you unmute?
Next person.
He said 1 minute. That's
Okay.
okay. I've done it too. Believe me, I've been on your end, Trevor, and I work here, and I can't figure out how to.
Last chance for Trevor.
Going once, going twice. We gotta go.
Trevor?
I think we're done with Trevor, unfortunately.
I'm sorry, Trev. Oh,
Wait, hold
there.
on.
He's
Hey.
there.
Is that him?
Okay. So, guys, I wanted to ask a question.
Well, okay, he typed his question in here.
Okay, what was
All right,
Trevor's
we'll
question?
answer your
answer it.
question.
Sorry,
We'll
Trevor.
answer.
Question is he wants to.
So my question for you guys is, what about this Mike McDaniel guy becoming the Lions' offensive coordinator?
We love it.
Yes.
Stoney was the first one who kind of threw it out there to us a couple of weeks ago, and he has since been fired in Miami, and we know that he would be a very expensive coordinator. The Lions would likely have to pay him top OC money in the league, but there's going to be a lot of teams. There are now 8 availabilities, one of which is the Dolphins. Obviously, he won't be an option to go back there, but there are 7 other teams looking for head coaches, and I think Mike McDaniel is going to be one of the top candidates based on what he has done. But the question is, who wants to go where now, right, James? You got to have a quarterback. You got to have a good GM. You've got to have a system where you can work and do as much as you want. I mean, if you look at what's going on in Detroit, as much as people are disappointed by the season and the way it turned out with the 9-8 and missing the playoffs, they've got a great setup in place.
No, they do. And Detroit is a really good place. And that was a good question by Trevor. We let him go for a little technical difficulties. I'd say the 2 big spots would be the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson. And then the New York Giants is a pretty big job with Jackson Dart, maybe Cam Scatterboo.
A lot of people aren't really crazy about the guy doing the grocery shopping there, though.
No, but I mean, that could work. You got a high draft pick. As much as I really want to say the Raiders is a good job, I don't feel confident about anything in Vegas, even though they have the number 1 pick.
It's a little dicey.
I could see Mike McDaniel really working out here.
Yeah.
You beef up the O-line. He's been the run game coordinator for a lot of successful teams, including the 49ers team that made the first Super Bowl.
For sure. Yeah, he could be very good for the Lions. All right, we're going to take another quick break, and then we're going to hit Fabian when we come back on the other side. I think Fabian is waiting patiently in the Zoom room. There is Howard spinning the dials on the Sports Office on this
Oh, she went. Hey,
Thursday
Fabian.
night.
We'll see Fabian after the break.
Welcome back to the sports office. We're going to check in with Fabian real quickly. We've just got about a minute to go here. Fabian.
Hey, Fabian.
How we doing, crew? How you doing?
Oh, good.
Thanks for
How are
having
you
me. I
tonight?
appreciate it.
Oh, how are you tonight?
I'm well. How you guys doing? How
Baby,
are you?
we got like 30 seconds. What do you want to get in tonight?
Oh, I just want to say shout out to Woody with his team taking with the Hurricanes going
Yes.
to work tonight.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go with Woody team for him tonight as a fan. And,
All right. We're going to tell him that, yeah. We're hoping he's somewhere having a tequila or a beer or something.
He is
enjoying the
you are-
game.
shaking
you
with
already-
so much nervous energy. I think he's just sitting there, just not even able to stop moving.
He pre-gaming somewhere. Hopefully, him and Michael Irvin on the line. Him and Mike and Ray there.
I would not go out with Michael Irvin. That seems like a terrible idea.
I think those two pregame a little bit differently.
Yeah, but look,
Fabian.
that's just all fun. That's
Yeah.
all good.
All right, we got to take a break. We got to
Thanks,
go,
Fabian.
Fabian. We'll see you soon.
Thanks
See you
for having
tomorrow.
me.
And we'll see you all tomorrow on the sports office.
Good night. Have a
Good
good
night.
one. Thanks for having me.